A mystery creature washes up and it has everyone scratching their heads.
We knew what they had. We knew what they had before they knew what they had. We'd been trailing McCormick's NOAA team since 2004. We followed them to South Africa. We knew what they found was the same species we'd taken off that beach.
I want people to know that it's authentic. Nothing's been manipulated. It's the real deal.
Away from our sights are the moments waiting to be discovered.
Oh, what the f***?
Mysterious, terrifying, and completely unexplainable. But luckily, we've got some digital eyes that each time made it possible to lock the disturbing activities of those who didn't know a camera was watching them.
Your registration is What the?
Let's start. When this man was sick of hearing eerie sounds outside his house, he went to investigate, and chills ran down his spine when he spotted a figure in a white gown in the distance. Before he could understand what he was seeing, the figure suddenly jumped towards him. What was particularly unsettling wasn't just the attack, but also the way it moved, bent backward and running on all fours. This was no ordinary human behavior. Many online viewers speculated it could be a possessed woman, while others believed it was a creature from another realm, sent to instill fear in the locals. Creepy building. Sometimes you really gotta watch what you ask for. An amateur Ghostbuster decided to explore an abandoned building, hoping to find something. Well, he thought he'd have the most luck in the bathrooms, so he went in, only to find a dark figure standing alone in one of the stalls. Initially, he seemed unfazed. After all, this is what he wanted. But something about the air, the sudden drop in temperature, and the creepy way the figure remained still, that would freak anyone out, even him. And just as he dared get close, the figure turned and curved its neck, turning it at 180 degrees. The encounter was so spooky, he turned and ran away. Scare glimpse. After hearing a dull thudding noise coming from their attic, two roommates finally decided to tackle whatever rodent was bugging them. To add a bit of fun, they started banging back on the door as if to teach the rat a lesson, but suddenly the door opened and a face peered out at them. This sudden appearance made them shut the door and the video cut off. But I can think of two reasons why this is so scary. First, well, that face looked inhumane, so it's probably some kind of ghost. And second, even if it is a person, a stranger living in their attic is a terrifying thing. Sinister Encounter. Encountering entities out of this realm would be something no one would ever want to experience. But this guy had a very unwanted face-off. After hearing bizarre sounds coming from the window, he went out to take a look and was left scared to the bone. I don't even know how to explain this thing. A pale body, huge eyes, and long fingers moving with a mind of their own. Seeing the frightening entity, the guy ran away. Was that a Skinwalker, a rake, or something else entirely? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Evil Elves.
Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullahalazim.
Out on a forest exploration, these guys came face to face with these short creatures that appeared to have made a home in the woods. Looking like elves with their short height and long, erect ears, the guys had no idea where they had come from. One of them was bald, while the other had round, glowing eyes and bizarre facial features. And strangely, they were pretty unfazed by the guys around them recording.
Saya minta doanya teman-teman, serius, saya minta doanya nih. Unik ini. Saya baru kali.
When the clip was posted online, it caused quite a buzz. Many people thought they were evil elves from an underground world, while others suggested these creatures were actually cursed beings that were bound to never find peace. Wild Witch. A family driving through the woods heard strange sounds resembling a baby crying. They stopped and investigated. What they saw next sent shivers down their spines. Hiding behind a small tree was a creepy creature, its furry limbs moving under the tree's cover. It quickly vanished into the thick woods, leaving behind the haunting echoes of a baby's cry. The family was petrified, thinking the entity had taken a child. Many people speculated it was a shapeshifter preying on souls, while others believed it was an evil entity using the baby's cries as bait. Not finding anything, the family hurried back to their car and never looked back. Bridezilla. A very strange incident happened at a wedding ceremony in Thailand. When the minister was officiating the wedding, suddenly a creepy look took over the bride's face. She looked to her left and started acting in a very unsettling way. The clip left people speculating about what really happened to the bride. Many said it was a case of spirit possession. But why would a spirit target a bride? Well, the truth behind that was never uncovered. Flying Girl. Have a look at this clip recorded in a Russian forest, where a guy was recording his dog running on snowy ground. As the dog made a turn, a bizarre sight appeared. A little girl in a red jacket was floating in the air, with a woman standing beside her. And no, she wasn't wearing any gear. After staying in the air for a while, she came down, and the woman quickly took the girl and ran away. The clip sparked a frenzy of speculation, with some saying the girl was possessed, while others thought the little girl had superpowers. Midnight Chase. Being chased by someone in the middle of the night while driving your car would be anyone's nightmare, and these guys here lived it. Driving their car, they noticed someone chasing them. It was like Usain Bolt himself was running out there. The group in the car were freaking out, and so they took a turn. And just when they thought they'd left the guy behind, he suddenly appeared right beside them. Just look how fast he was running. Hopefully, the car was able to evade the chaser and got back home safely. Ritual in Red. A man walking past an alleyway recorded a very bizarre scene. In the dimly lit street, he recorded a group of guys standing together in a circle, dressed in red from head to toe, holding a light in their hands. The guy was sure he had walked in on a ritual taking place in the hushed corner. Thankfully, no one noticed the guy walking by. What would you have done if you ever saw something like this? Here's another unusual activity taking place in the quiet parts of the woods. 3 guys donning black robes were near the flowing river, and the guy recording said it looked like the one kneeling was being cleansed. Then, he captured a whole group in black robes walking around a house holding on to something. The cameraman was sure he saw a ritual of some satanic cult, as they are known to perform such activities in secluded places.
Hail Satan! Hail Satan!
Creepy Climber. Near a hospital in India, a woman with long black hair was caught climbing a wall on all fours, sparking claims of similar sightings by locals. Dressed in a white hospital gown, her effortless ascent looked like she'd done this before. The identity of this figure remained a mystery. Some speculated it might be a woman sleepwalking, although scaling walls smoothly seemed beyond typical sleepwalking behavior. Others suggested it could be the ghost of a patient or a supernatural entity. However, no one has been able to tell what that climbing entity was. Obama's alien. A short clip from a speech by former US President Barack Obama in 2012 has been going around online, and netizens have become suspicious. People who watched the footage thought they spotted an alien Secret Service agent in the crowd. If you look closely, one agent's features did seem a bit off, making him look a tad alien-like from a certain angle. Alien enthusiasts got excited, claiming it as proof of extraterrestrials working with the president. Others suggested it was just a trick of the light and camera angles, changing the agent's appearance. So, while it's alright to imagine aliens among us, sometimes what seems alien might just be a camera trick. Disappearing driver.
Your registration is What the?
A cop pulled over a woman for a routine traffic stop. Everything was going smoothly, and the woman seemed to be complacent and even apologetic.
Really blew past that stop sign in front of me.
I did. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
The entire ordeal was being recorded by the cop's body cam and their shop's camera. The woman pulled over was even nice enough to explain why she'd been speeding. The cop asked for her license and registration, and she handed it over. The cop moved to run the records through their system, but just as she tried to inform the woman, she'd suddenly vanished into thin air. The sight was so perplexing, even the cop got scared and reported the woman as missing.
What the?
Sarah?
What do you think? A ghost? Or a glitch in the Matrix? Short, dark entity. A group of teenagers was playing a game of football in a small indoor courtyard, passing the ball around while one of them recorded. Suddenly, chaos erupted out of nowhere when a small, dark figure appeared next to one of the players. The short figure, dressed in a black cloak, was about half their height, who quickly exited the courtyard. As there was only one entrance, it meant the critter was already there. The teens were left scared, wondering where the figure came from and what it was. With only that brief clip as evidence, the mystery of the encounter remained unsolved. Crawling Skinwalker. A man was walking through a prairie field at night when he heard rustling and something moving across the tall grass. It was a whitish creature crawling on the ground. Initially, the man thought it was an injured hiker, but a closer look, and you can see it's clearly not a human. It doesn't even seem to have any skin. According to the man, the creature was probably a skinwalker caught mid-transition. The man slowly retraced his footsteps, not wanting to make the situation worse for himself. Pounding entity.
Leave. Stop.
This sound is bound to wake up even the heaviest of sleepers. The banging was recorded by a man who had finally had enough after hearing it continuously for a couple of days. At first glance, you'd think there's a neighborhood kid knocking, probably messing with the man. But just as he comes close, poof, whoever it was disappeared. This isn't some magical game of ding-dong-ditch either. There's nobody around, and even the dog seems confused. The man walked away, thinking maybe he'd finally got rid of the problem. But then the banging erupted again. And what the heck is that? I'm not a firm believer in paranormal entities, but how else can we explain something like this?
Leave. Stop.
Ghostly woman. Exploring an abandoned church at midnight? There's nothing that could possibly go wrong, right? A bunch of friends decided they could tackle whatever spirits lay in the church, but little did they know their night would take a turn for the worse. During the exploration, the group split up, with one eventually heading towards the pew. That's when he saw the woman, one clad in all white, staring back at him. On pure instinct, the man screamed and rushed outside. Now, while you think it's just some sort of creepy mannequin left behind, if you look closely, you'll see the woman's head turn slightly. Well, even if it was a mannequin, who's to say it isn't possessed? Lanky Walker. As a group of friends sat down to relax after pitching a tent in front of the woods, something tall and lanky suddenly walked behind them. Although it could barely be seen, its presence was so intimidating and evil, it alerted the men, who quickly fled the scene. While it'd be easy to chalk this up to a prankster, just check the height of the creature. To be that tall and thin is impossible. even for NBA standards. The group of friends believe they'd accidentally captured Slender Man in action. And with woods like that, it might just be a possibility. Spooky Watcher. A mom in England caught something spooky on camera while filming her son riding his bike near an old abandoned mansion. On the first floor balcony, a mysterious figure was recorded that appeared like a real ghost. The mansion, dating back to the 19th century, was known for such unusual sightings. When the mom asked officials, they said only security was around that day. The video also captured something eerie floating near the Tower of London, known for its ghostly history. Are these real ghosts or just spooky coincidences? It's a mystery that's kept everyone wondering. Clown Chase. These guys' ATV ride adventure through the forest turned into an unexpected race when a clown appeared out of nowhere and began chasing them. Oh my God! The clown guy ran with all his might, trying to get to the guys. But luckily, those guys got away, as they were on a speedy ride. Otherwise, it wouldn't have ended well. But why did that clown suddenly chase them? Even they had no idea. Thinking they were probably at the wrong place at the wrong time. Skin Eater. A group of monster hunters managed to capture a creature that had been terrorizing a neighborhood. Stuck in a cage, the creature had an odd, humanoid shape, but its features were unlike anything they'd seen before. Its eyes seemed to be carved into its face, and its mouth opened up into a long, creepy slit. As if that weren't terrifying enough, it could only say one thing. Now that's unsettling. Monster hunters claim this was a type of Wendigo, a supernatural creature with a never-ending taste for humans. Masked Guy.
So I was just in the house and I started hearing it, so I was like, you know what, let me just come out my camera. Right now, someone's
recording a video outside his house. A teenager noticed a strange figure near his backyard and decided to take a closer look.
Like, wait. Oh my gosh, someone's there, dude.
Observing the mysterious creature in the distance, he found that it was a guy wearing a porcelain doll mask, sitting on a swing. Looking at the boy for a few seconds, the masked guy suddenly started running towards him. Netizens thought it might be someone pulling a prank to scare the filmer, while others thought it could be someone with bad intentions. Thankfully, the boy was able to dodge the masked man and got back home safely. Ominous Bystander.
There was somebody walking in that distance. It looks really, really scary.
Driving through a spooky night, a car driver encountered a scene straight out of a horror movie.
He's standing like under the sign over there. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Alongside the road stood a tall figure. He wasn't asking for a ride. He just ominously watched as the car passed by. The driver, curious yet cautious, slowed down to get a better look. But suddenly, something terrifying happened. The driver screamed and everything went dark.
Oh, what the f***?
Did that mysterious figure attack the car? The answer remained a mystery. When shared online, viewers noticed the figure's face didn't look normal. Is it just me, or does it look like one of those puppets? Was this just a prank by a teen, or is there something more sinister at play? Let me know what you think in the comments. Eerie Attendant. This clip, recorded during a funeral service, captured something that left the internet buzzing with questions. A seemingly normal service turned out to be a creepy encounter with a strange, pale humanoid standing in the crowd. The people around it didn't seem to notice it. Internet folks believed it might be the spirit of the deceased person, saying its final goodbye to its loved ones. Headless Man. You must have seen someone missing a limb or a finger. But what if I told you there are people out there missing their whole heads? Yeah, that's right! Have a look at this guy on his way to catch the subway with no head, and everyone around him noticed this unusual state, making it obvious the clip was not a hoax. And this wasn't the only time a headless man was captured. Here's another captured somewhere in India, where a guy walking down the road seemed very unusual, and if you look closely, you'll notice his head was missing. Many people thought that the unusual headless guys were actually the apparition of a mythical being famous in various folklore. So, was this really the sighting of a mythical being, or just a carefully crafted hoax? Let me know what you think in the comments. Nightcrawler. While driving through a dense Chilean forest, a man came upon an unusual sight blocking his path. A naked-looking creature that seemed to be crawling backwards. It had the appearance of a skeletal figure with a grim face and grayish hair. With its unsettling looks, the entity was oddly eager to approach the passing vehicle. The driver, frightened by the crawler's slow movements, somehow maneuvered around it without any trouble. This mysterious entity was believed to be an evil forest dweller. Many locals thought the crawler was a creepy hunter and steered clear of it. Wendigo Encounter. A cyclist driving through a popular biking trail in his hometown unexpectedly came across something that jumped at him. It was so sudden, the cyclist could only swallow his scream and quickly pedal away. He turned to look back, but whatever it was had already vanished. When the cyclist reviewed his camera footage, he realized the creature had grayish skin, pointed joints, and a humanoid form, and that its description matched a Wendigo to a T. According to folklore, the creature is capable of appearing in many forms, but appears in this one when it's out hunting for humans. Invisibility Cloak. Did this guy get his hands on Harry Potter's Cloak of Invisibility? It sure looks that way. Walking down the stairs of a park, this man pulled out a see-through sheet and opened it. Seemingly ordinary at first, it turned out to be every Harry Potter fan's dream object. Just as the guy put the sheet on himself, his body disappeared. How was that possible? Did he crack some physics code? Well, whatever science there was, I know I need that thing ASAP. Alien abduction? This video circulating online has stirred speculations among Houston residents and sparked some wild theories. A man walked out of his house, and as he reached the end of his walkway, he suddenly vanished in a flash of light. Did he fly into the sky? The internet went crazy, wondering if aliens were involved. When people thought aliens had abducted him, the man from the video decided to set the record straight. He explained that it was simply a recording glitch. A video loop got stuck that made it appear as though he disappeared. With his explanation, the mystery of alien abduction, for this instance, was finally debunked. Ghostly swing.
Crazy. I'm not playing, look at this.
It's going faster! Look at it!
A father out with his children captured an eerie video of a ghost swing moving in a playground in Warwick, Rhode Island. The kids were scared and didn't want to get out of the truck after seeing this strange phenomenon. The video went viral on social media, with many folks pitching their theories. Skeptics suggested the movement could be due to wind, or it might just be a hoax. But the father emphasized that the video was authentic and hadn't been manipulated.
I want people to know that it's authentic. Nothing's been manipulated, it's the real deal.
Many others insisted it was due to something from another realm. Portal Lady. We've all heard about different dimensions existing right alongside us, but the theory hasn't quite been proven yet. However, this clip will surely make you believe in the possibility of it. A dash cam of a car driving on a two-way road captured this unexplainable incident. A black car coming from the other side suddenly came to a halt when a woman appeared beside the car, literally out of nowhere. It's like she materialized out of thin air. Many people on the internet suggested a portal might have opened from another dimension and the woman emerged there, while skeptics thought the clip could be computer generated. However, its authenticity was never verified, leaving questions about what really happened there. Road Ghost. While on the topic of encountering creepy things while driving at night, here, have a look at this footage from a dashcam that recorded an odd entity standing in the middle of the road. The car barely missed it by a hair. As the car was moving at a high speed, the figure wasn't captured clearly. If it was someone trying to cross the road, that's extremely dangerous to do, especially in the dark. However, many internet folks disagreed with this theory, saying it was probably some dark dwelling entity out and about in the night looking for prey. Snow Creature. 2 Russian workers were returning home when something blocked their path. As it quickly scurried away, the men couldn't help but notice how unusual it was. The figure's body was light and furry, but its speed suggested it possessed superhuman abilities. The workers were driving extremely slowly due to the darkness and the snow, so they were able to capture it on camera. They think they've finally spotted the Yeti, or the abominable snowman. What do you think? Creepy face. What would you do if you looked out your window and saw this? Although it only appears for a split second, you can immediately tell whatever's on the other side of the window isn't friendly. Let's look a little closely at its face. It appears to be human, but at the same time, its eyes are dense and dark, almost difficult to see. As it eventually disappears to the side, you can see a hint of blurriness too. It's possible it's an evil spirit that haunts the house and is looking for a chance to strike. Barcelona Thief. An on-record interview on a Barcelona beach captured more than just the guy talking. Now keep your eyes on this bag. Suddenly, a guy appeared who didn't notice the camera, put the stuff down, and took the bag with him. But it didn't end there. Another guy came by and took the stuff left behind and disappeared in a hurry. But don't worry, the guys returned the things they took. Although it's crazy to see how comfortable these guys are stealing stuff. Water biking. Walking on water isn't typically real, but riding a bike on water just became very real. Have a look for yourself. This guy from India was recorded riding his bike down on a plank and right into the water, and it didn't drown. What's going on? People who watched the video had different opinions. Some said it was a stunt. Others suggested the guy had supernatural powers. But let me know what you think of this water-riding bike. Still dog. This clip recorded by a man in his apartment building has been making rounds on the internet. When he arrived home, he saw his neighbor's dog standing eerily still. Very still. No movement at all. He cautiously approached and saw its tail move, and when he patted the dog, it finally moved. Was it stuck with a glitch, or had the dog just noticed something? As they are known to sense things humans are unable to see. Invisible opponent. A man was chilling in his apartment when he noticed a very strange sight out of his window on the road. A guy out there seemed to be in a fight, but where was the opponent? There was no one on the road with him, and he seemed to be shooting punches in the air. The fight went on for some time, and then he talked to the invisible opponent. When he asked around the neighborhood about the guy, he found out that the man suffered from a psychological disease called schizophrenia, where the patient hallucinates situations not really happening in real life. Carjacked.
I turned around, saw him, ran around to my driver's side of the car, realized he was attempting to start my car.
Watch this woman jumping on the hood of a car, and then not even moving as the car started. Has she lost her mind? Well, let me tell you that this was actually a case of carjacking, and the woman is the owner of the car trying to save her vehicle. Let's take a look from the very start of the footage. The woman was filling up gas into her car when a black car pulled up and a guy suddenly entered the driver's seat. But the woman wasn't having any of it and instantly jumped to save her car.
I just hopped up.
And she successfully saved the car as the guy eventually got out and ran away in the same black car he'd came in.
Were you terrified at all? Not really. For whatever reason, I was not going to have that.
Spooky pamphlets. 2 bookstore workers were closing up for the day when a couple of pamphlets fell from the shelf. Initially, the duo didn't even pay much attention to it because they thought the woman must have knocked over the bookshelf on her way. But then, the other worker decided to clean up the mess, only for a couple of more pamphlets to fly down. This was enough to spook the duo out, who quickly decided this wasn't their mess to deal with. Smart decision on their part, but I'd quit if I knew I worked with a ghost. Floating humanoid. At first glance, the video may not catch your attention, but there's a hidden surprise. While on a tour to the mountaintop, they captured what appeared to be a human-like figure with a distinct head, shoulders, arms, and legs. What made it even stranger was its immense size. Usually, such distant figures are tiny dots, but this one stood out like a giant. On top of that, it seemed to be floating. Locals mentioned seeing this giant before, and the last person who spotted it vanished mysteriously. So, if you're out hiking, do not keep an eye out for these eerie floating giants. Disappearing silhouette. This drone footage from Fort McClellan, Alabama, recorded a chilling sight. Initially, the sidewalk seemed empty, but suddenly, a figure appeared near a street lamp, only to vanish just as quickly. This mysterious apparition, with no clear explanation, sparked a frenzy online. People speculated it might be a paranormal or extraterrestrial occurrence. However, without further evidence, the true nature of the dark silhouette captured in the video remained a mystery. Now, it's time for today's open discussion. In 2015, a man noticed a group of men clad in white biohazard suits edging over the bank of a river in Poland. Feeling something was off, he pulled out his phone and recorded this. The group seemed to have pulled something out of the river. To the man's shock, it looked like a merman. The half-man, half-fish was placed on a gurney, covered with a moist cloth and pulled into the woods. The men returned to see if there was anything else, but eventually went back into the woods. Well, here's the proof we needed. Mermaids really do exist, especially now that we know officials are trying their best to cover up their existence. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.